Nation? Maven TV, aka Me TV, aka see ya, Fat Andy, see ya. I'm happy he's gone, but I put it like this. Some of you fans, there's something wrong with you. We don't have to ever worry about seeing the push broom mustache, the loud Hawaiian shirts, you know what I mean? Time is yours, it's my responsibility, all that. We don't have to hear that anymore. And I'm so happy to hear that. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about that anymore. And this does bother me, though. Because you Eagles fans, there's something wrong with you. You have proven to everyone, and I mean NFL, their fan bases, that you are the most complainest fan base I've ever seen in my life. Crying just to cry. It makes no sense. The very same fan base that said they wanted Andy Reid gone is now complaining that he's gone. What's going on here? Are you a prisoner of the moment? Is that what it's coming down to? This is not the Eagles fan base I grew up with. And I'm calling you on it today. That's right, because you should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm not trying to hear after Andy Reid is gone, we should have kept him. He was a great coach. His tenure here. Let's stop that. All right? Now I'm going to rewind a little bit because I want to go back to the Giants game when the Giants absolutely destroyed us. They romped us, all right? Credit to the Giants. You didn't make the playoffs, but you killed us that game, okay? You did. And as we know, the players did not care. You got Michael Vick coming out and saying what he really wanted to say all season, which I don't know why he waited till the last game to say something. McCoy is coming out and saying the same thing, that people on the team didn't care, all right? That's what they're saying. The players are at each other's throats. There's been reports of them finger-pointing. They was arguing in the locker room. They're just yelling at each other. The players are not taking any responsibility. They're blaming each other. It takes an entire team to win a football game, okay? So they're all responsible. That's number one. Number two, while they're blaming each other and they say that there's people on this team that didn't care, you got Eagles fans on Sunday night waiting outside. That's right, waiting for the Eagles to come back, right? Waiting for them to come back from New York. And it was only like a handful of them, but I want to talk about this. You got grown men, that's right, grown men, dressed up in Eagles uniforms, shoulder pads, the works, all right, with their kids. I don't know why their wives or girlfriends or whoever let them go out there. Mind you, it was like 20 degrees outside Sunday night, and the wind was harsh. Why you have little kids out there that are like 4 years old out there cheering for the Eagles, I have no idea. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's horrible parenting. But I will put it like this. They're out there saying, go Eagles, in their uniforms. Go Eagles. We'll get them next year. We'll get them next time. You serious, bro? You serious? Let's get something straight here. First off, you're too old to be acting that way. And I understand, you're not on the team, all right? You're not on the team. There's no reason for you to be dressed that way. You shouldn't even be out there anyway, all right? But I put it like this. You should know better to be dressed up like that. I understand that there's, people in fandoms, when they go into the stadiums, they're dressed up like that in the stadiums. I get that. But we're talking about a handful of grown men, all right, that are not, mind you, the game was played in New York. All right, so they're on the pavement. They're not even in the stadium. They're on the pavement cheering for the Eagles. There's something wrong with you, especially when you got 4-year-olds out there. All right, and the thing is, they're going to pass that fandom down to their kids. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be. But of course, you're not going to take responsibility just like the players. Why would you be out there cheering on players who did not care or did not put in any effort? That makes no sense. That's not what a real fan is. You should know better than that. And this is why I understand, because you have players like Fletcher Cox coming out on Twitter and saying, I want to say something, but I'm not going to. I don't want to, rile up the fans. And then you have these stupid fans, all right, who call themselves real fans. Don't worry about it, Fletcher Cox. They're nothing but haters, all right? They're fair weather fans. Nah. Let's get something straight. First off, you need a new word. It's 2013. Get rid of the hater. Get a new vocab, all right? But I put it like this. Don't sit here and call people fair weather fans and haters because they're disappointed with the season. You can't even say that when you don't even have a backbone. Don't even go there, all right? Some of you Eagles fans, I don't understand you. In the 90s, this wouldn't have happened, all right? If a player had even, stepped up and spoke about fans in any type of derogatory way, fans would have had his head. He'd have been on the next plane or next bus out of here. You understand it? But it seems like these days, it's okay. And a lot of these people turn around and say, yeah, because I'm calling you soft. That's what I'm calling you, all right? And you know who you are, all right? I'm talking about fans in general, not anyone specific, but you know who you are. You know if you act like that, there's a problem. There's a difference between having passion for your team and backing your team and being realistic. You know this, all right? Being a real fan doesn't mean you always have to praise them. You know this because you want the team to do better. That's what it comes down to. I've said this time and time again. But let's get something straight, all right? After that, then we had to hear all the guys on the radio. Andy Reid is a legend here in Philadelphia. His tenure here was so great. He was the best coach that the Eagles ever had. let's get into this because I'm going to shut them guys up right now. And that goes from fans all the way up to the media who's praising this garbage. All right? Because that's what they're doing. They're pushing it. So I'm talking about like this. Regular season in Andy Reid's 14 years here of the regular season win percentage, he was a 578. All right? In his playoff percentage, win percentage, when it comes to those 14 seasons, he was a 526. You know what that means? That means he's barely over 500. So you're praising mediocrity. That's what you're doing. So you think that's a great coach for 14 years with mediocrity, barely over 500? Is that what you're going to tell me? Not to mention the fact that we had a dynamic duo in McNabb and T.O. and Andy Reid handled it the wrong way. And it's not just Andy Reid as well. It goes from the front office. It goes from T.O. to McNabb. All these guys are responsible. You going to tell me that Andy Reid needed to tell T.O. to shut up? You know how T.O. is. All right, all that's going to do is just fire him up even more. You know that. But you could have handled it better. And yet, that didn't go well. So I blame all of them for that situation. But don't sit here and tell me that Andy Reid is okay. And a lot of people say, well, if you look at the coaches back then, let's get something straight. That should tell you how bad our coaches have been. Buddy Ryan, all right, yeah, Buddy Ryan. You had Rich Kotite. You had Ray Rhodes. Look, people love Buddy Ryan and Ray Rhodes, even though we lost and we had great teams. Understand, when we lost, Buddy Ryan and Ray Rhodes, they didn't put up with players' garbage like Andy Reid did. That's the difference. And on top of losing. You understand that? No one liked Rich Kotite, so, I mean, that's just a foregone conclusion. No one cared about Rich Kotite. No. But understand, this is what it comes down to. Eagles fans, if you don't know your history, you shouldn't be speaking. If you were too young to remember the 90s, then please go ask your parents if they were hardcore Eagles fans. No one put up with this in the 90s. Nobody. See, this is what I don't like. And a lot of people keep saying that it's great, it's great. No, it's not great. I'm not trying to hear this. And it seems like everyone's taking a cue from the media, especially when the media doesn't know what they're talking about at this point. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Mike Greenberg comes out from ESPN and starts trashing on the Eagles. Now, wait a minute. First off, he's automatically wrong. We already know. Since Andy Reid is gone, there's going to be a changing of the guard. You know what that means? That means the entire coaching staff, depending on the coach they get, if they pick and choose who they want, is going to be changed. We also know as Eagles fans that there's a lot of players that are going to be gone. We've already said on Twitter, there's a shorter list for who to keep than there is who to let go. There is. All right, so we know. This is a rebuilding season next season. For him to say immediately win, who said that? Where is he getting this from? I don't understand this. Why is this dude have so much stock put him? Why is he being promoted? I don't understand this. If anything, he's already admitted that he's never played sports in his life. And his only highlight on ESPN has been Dancing with the Stars. Why are you pushing this dude? He has no idea what he's talking about. And I've already, pretty much destroyed him once already when he tried to plug the NBA. Was it the World Basketball Tournament they want to have? And I went into detail in video how it would hurt the Olympics. But yet, he's okay with that. Do you understand? Mike Greenberg should not be taken seriously, and he shouldn't even be on the air. Why are there people who are non-sports fans? Is this what our sport has come down to? Are non-sports fans, and you're talking about sports. It's time for people. It's 2013. It's time for some shaking. It's time to let some of these dudes go. It really is. It's time, and I put it like this. You're only going to get the truth here on YouTube from real fans. And I'm talking about you Philly fans. Understand, all right, that this YouTube thing, this Philadelphia fan base, it's a very tight-knit community. It is. So for these guys to sit here and say some mass media, to sit here and talk about this when they have no idea what they're talking about, it really pisses me off. It does. This is a rebuilding season. You should know when we're in a rebuilding season, it takes at least 2-3 years to assess your team. It really does. All right? Depending on who you keep, depending on the coach's scheme. It really does. So don't expect Super Bowl next year. I don't understand this. I just don't. It's absolutely horrifying to see someone who's supposed to be a professional come out and say this. It really is. But I want to talk about the media a little bit more. Because media, this is what you do. You have the ability to influence. You have the ability to tell people, create hysteria, to have this I'll put it like this. You have the ability to open doors for importance, and yet you bastardize your craft. How is this possible? For example, why are we still in this NHL lockout? You haven't pushed anybody. You haven't jumped on Gary Bettman enough to say, okay, you know what? It's done. The people really want NHL. No, you haven't pushed it. It's not like it's an everyday thing. If this was like the Tiger Woods scandal or something, you'd be all over it. All right? But you're not, because you don't care about sports at this point. You don't. You care about drama and ratings. And that's not what sports is always about. And if you don't believe me, you can ask people overseas when they watch their soccer or football. They don't even have that drama and ratings. They let it play out. If you don't believe me, you can ask anybody who comes into these videos and talks about it. It's that simple. It's time to stop pushing stories and drama and get back to sports. Let it play out. Let it create its own story. That's all you have to do. And that's not all, because just not too long ago, I don't see people talking about Tom Corbett, because for those who don't know, Tom Corbett, PA, he just tried to sue the NCAA, because of the whole Penn State thing, because the sanctions against Penn State. So let me get this straight. Why isn't this dude relieved of his position? Why isn't he? This is all the problems that Pennsylvania has right now, and this is what you dedicate your time to. Really. Spending taxpayer dollars. Get out of here with this, man. This is what I'm talking about. ESPN, I really have a beef with you, because for those who don't understand, because I took my break, so I didn't really have much to say, all right? I took my holiday break. Y'all know this, all right? But Rob Parker came out and absolutely disrespected Robert Griffin III, all right? Called him pretty much an Uncle Tom. He tried to say he was a cornball brother. We know what he means, all right? He called him an Uncle Tom because he has a white fiance, and he has, and because he votes Republican. Who cares? That has nothing to do with his career. That has nothing to do with football. And yet he's going to speak personally. Mind you, Rob Parker got fired from Detroit because of this, because he got too personal with people. You understand, he is in no position to even speak about these type of things. And Rob Parker was suspended for 2 weeks from ESPN because of it, only to be brought back. That's right. ESPN said, hey, look, we'll just take the heat off you until it blows over, because people have short attention spans and short memories, and then we'll bring you back then. How can you mess up the easiest job in the world, which is sitting in a suit, in a chair, and talking sports? How can you mess that up? I don't understand that. If people paid me thousands of dollars and carry on, possibly depending on who you are, because it all, comes down to pushing yourself and being popular. It's amazing how sportscasters are now as famous as athletes. It's amazing. I don't get that. Some of them think they're bigger than the sport. Sad. But they get paid thousands, some millions of dollars to do this. And you can't even keep that on. You can't even keep a lid on it, can you? You can't even contain yourself. You got to mess it up. It's sad. ESPN, you are in shambles right now. I've done this too many times about how you like to prey on racism, and now it just backfired. It's sad. And I get tired of seeing it. I haven't watched ESPN in so long. But when the news broke, I thought Rob Parker was going to be fired. He should have been fired. He was fired from his last job. But yet you keep giving them chances because these boys with Skip Bayless, who also doesn't have a damn IQ. But yet it's okay. Media, you're not trusted. Mainstream media, you're not trusted. It takes us, YouTubers, everyday people, to come out and tell the truth. It shouldn't it really shouldn't come down to that. It really shouldn't. You have all the money, all the backing, all the profiling. You have all the doors open, and yet you still abuse your, dare I say, power. It's time to get a lot of you guys out of here. It really is. And I'm sick of it. Eagles fans, you were put on notice, because I put it like this. Every time I see Twitter, it's just ridiculous what you fans are saying. Why is this a big deal? Andy's gone. It's time to move on. Jeffrey Lurie has said he's got about 10 to 12 people to interview for a head coaching job. And I'll put it like this, all right? I don't believe Jeffrey Lurie. Anyone who saw that press conference, he was full of lies, a lot of rhetoric. That's all it was. But understand that he has to have, by now, at least cut down to either 2 to 5 coaches. He has to. Don't tell me it's okay. We expect more from our team. We want a Super Bowl. We want a championship. And even though he sits here and spouts, oh, I was very upset about the season, he didn't look upset. Did he? Exactly. It's all business to him. And I'm sick of it. We need an owner in here because, like I said, at the end of the day, with these players and his coach and his front office, this comes down to the owner because he's trusting them. That's what it comes down to. If it doesn't happen in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 4, depending on who we get and who we coach, who we get as a coach and the personnel, if it doesn't happen then, it's time to get a new owner. I'm willing to give Jeffrey Lurie at least 3 to 4 more years. All right? But after that, that's it. People don't look beyond the coach for some reason. They don't look at Howie Roseman. They don't look at him. They don't look at Jeffrey Lurie. Nothing. When Joe Banner did something, yeah, it got somebody's attention, but that was it. Now he's in Cleveland. We don't have to deal with him. I feel bad for Cleveland fans. But you have to be kidding me. You need to start broadening your scope. You really do, Eagles fans. This is bigger than just your coach. This is bigger than just your players. It just is. And it seems like nobody wants to really get into it. When y'all really want to get into it, holla at me. I'll talk to y'all, and y'all be safe. I'm out, man.